I know everything's playing out in real time, Gypsy. I know it was rough. You're postpartum, you just had the baby, feelings were all over the place. Of course you were going to be upset about me and Ryan's at 2 a.m. We're not faulting you for that. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to have all the feelings you want and need. We just want to see you live and thrive.
Just when you thought the intense drama between Gypsy Rose Blanchard and Ryan Anderson had finally faded into the background, Amber J throws a wrench in everything with an apology video that shakes things up all over again. But this wasn't your run-of-the-mill, tearful "I'm sorry" a video we're used to seeing from influencers. No, Amber's video was an entire performance, one laced with subtle, yet biting shade. It was a mix of calculated petulance dressed as sincerity, and honestly, it was hilarious. But beneath the humor, there was a much darker undertone, as Amber subtly peeled back the layers of jealousy, manipulation, and control that have been simmering between her, Gypsy, and Ryan for months. Amber opened her video with a line that instantly made everyone do a double take: "If you're not Gypsy, please scroll." It was almost identical to the words Gypsy used in her own emotional, trembling video to Ryan not long ago.
Yes, videos for Gypsy Rose Blanchard, so if you're not Gypsy Rose Blanchard, you can scroll on. But I know y'all are gonna watch and listen.
Anyone familiar with the previous drama knew right away that this wasn't going to be a soft apology. Amber wasn't there to bury the hatchet. She was there to throw a grenade into the situation, and she did so with a smile on her face. One of the first things Amber casually mentioned was that Gypsy had blocked her over something trivial, like an accidental like on a post.
Gypsy, I know you're probably watching my content, but we haven't had actual contact in about, I think it's been almost a year since you blocked me. And that's okay, because I really only wish the best for you. I just want to apologize for the way I was acting, keeping you up at night. You know what I'm saying? I want to apologize for having you up at 2 a.m. because you thought I was dating your mans.
But it wasn't just any block. The way Amber said it made it clear that it was a calculated move. The block wasn't an innocent act, it was more of a defensive tactic, a way for Gypsy to keep control. But why? Amber was stepping into the spotlight, speaking up, and not backing down. And Gypsy couldn't stand it. Gypsy had always been the one at the center of attention, the one with the narrative. Amber's rise was a direct threat to that. So, Gypsy tried to cut her out, but Amber wasn't going to back down. Instead, she hit back with passive-aggressive sweetness, and that's when the true nature of the conflict began to show. As Amber continued, she addressed Gypsy's past insecurities head-on. She said she was sorry for keeping Gypsy up at night, and in doing so, she brought up one of the most iconic and telling moments of their drama, the infamous text Gypsy had sent to Ryan late one night. "Are you with Amber?"
I'm sorry I had to take your man. I know everything's playing out in real time, Gypsy. I know it was rough. You're postpartum, you just had the baby, feelings were all over the place. Of course you were going to be upset about me and Ryan's at 2 a.m. We're not faulting you for that. You're allowed to have feelings. You're allowed to have all the feelings you want and need. We just want to see you live and thrive.
Amber knew exactly what she was doing with this line. It wasn't just a throwaway comment. It was a reminder to Gypsy of her own emotional breakdown. That text was desperate, panic-filled, and screamed of insecurity and unfinished business. Amber wasn't just throwing shade, she was shining a spotlight on Gypsy's complete loss of control. But Amber wasn't finished. She then went on to apologize for taking Gypsy's man. Of course, we all know that Ryan isn't Gypsy's man anymore, but Amber knew that mentioning it would still get under Gypsy's skin. The way Amber phrased it wasn't just careless, it was deliberate. It was a reminder of how much Gypsy had lost and how Amber was, in her own way, claiming ownership over what Gypsy couldn't keep. The real brilliance of Amber's video, though, came in how she subtly mimicked Gypsy's previous apology video. She quoted Gypsy's own words with the same tone, cadence, and even pauses.
Ryan's didn't want to take it to Taylor Swift and he would have taken me. I'm so sorry for that. Gypsy, I just want to say I'm sorry we threw your pillars out the window and I brought them back in, okay? I took them back in because we're here for Gypsy, Team Gypsy in this house. I mean, I trusted you, Gypsy. I really did. I full on trusted you. And then you did something to the back. I think it's all gonna be fans. I'm sorry that you're the way you are. I didn't mean to get involved with the crazy lady. We really are all sorry that we ended up with a piece of shit.
It wasn't just mocking, it was a surgical dismantling of Gypsy's narrative. Amber didn't just copy Gypsy's speech, she mirrored it back to her, showing Gypsy what her apology video really looked like to everyone else. When Amber paused mid-sentence and burst into laughter, it was like a moment of realization. No one was buying Gypsy's narrative anymore. Amber wasn't just calling out Gypsy for her actions, she was exposing her entire performance. And just when you think Amber couldn't throw in another layer of drama, she dropped the Taylor Swift concert bombshell. Gypsy had been absolutely desperate to attend the concert, so much so that she nearly risked her legal standing to go. Ryan had posted a poll on his social media asking his followers if he should take Amber to the concert or go to a game instead. It was a light-hearted, even petty question, but for Gypsy, it was a trigger. In a fit of jealousy and panic, Gypsy tried to withdraw $12,000 from their joint account to buy her own Taylor Swift tickets. This wasn't just any impulse buy, it was a financial decision rooted in desperation, trying to buy access to something that she could no longer control. With all of this, Amber has officially stirred the pot. But what's even more intriguing is the quiet role that Ken plays in all of this. As Amber throws shade and Gypsy tries to hold on to what little narrative she has left, Ken is caught in the middle, watching everything unfold. It's clear he never expected to be dragged into this chaotic web, but there he is, probably wondering what kind of soap opera he's stepped into. Gypsy and Ryan's finances were under strict court supervision during their divorce, which made her behavior even more reckless. Amber, on the other hand, seized the opportunity to make a bold statement. It wasn't just dramatic, it was an incredibly risky, petty, and reckless move, but it wasn't about making a point, it was about power. Amber wasn't just trying to be seen, she wanted to show she still had control over Ryan's life. Instead of showing love, her actions were rooted in desperation to matter. Then Amber threw another wrench into the drama. She casually tossed out the sentimental pillows that had been part of Gypsy and Ryan's shared life. At first, it might seem like an insignificant act, but it wasn't. Amber went as far as to say she brought them back, as if to downplay the gesture. But this wasn't a small move, it was a symbolic one. Those pillows weren't just for comfort, they were a symbol of intimacy, of the history and bond Ryan and Gypsy had shared. Amber wasn't just taking over physically, she was emotionally marking her place in Ryan's life. Gypsy, who had clearly failed to realize it, saw that Amber was inserting herself into Ryan's world in ways she hadn't anticipated. Amber didn't stop there. She directly called out Gypsy for trusting her, only to feel betrayed, mirroring the emotional breakdowns Gypsy had so often shown. This wasn't some offhand joke, it was calculated. Amber wasn't just mocking Gypsy's apologies, she was throwing her emotional manipulation right back in her face, exposing how performative Gypsy's attempts at apology had been. Then Amber threw in a final jab, calling herself a piece of shit, the same insult Gypsy had used against her. But this time, Amber didn't use it as an apology, she turned it into a weapon of dark humor, making it hit harder than any insult Gypsy had ever thrown. The video ended with a sharp, biting remark, "Accept your apology, so you have to accept mine first."
We really are all sorry that we ended up with a piece of shit. Like you! I'm just kidding, Jib. We love you. It's fine. I accept the apology. You're gonna have to accept mine. The best you could do was the best I could do, so there was that. Gypsy, I wouldn't be here without you.
On one hand, it was a recognition that Gypsy had given Amber a platform to speak. But on the other hand, it was a pointed reminder that Gypsy's attempt to silence Amber had only made her voice louder. Amber didn't beg for forgiveness. She didn't cry or manipulate the situation. Instead, she mocked the entire thing, showing that she was in complete control of the narrative. Let's take it back to where it all started. Gypsy sent Ryan a frantic text at 1:53 a.m. asking, "Are you with Amber?" When he didn't respond, she doubled down at 9 a.m., telling him she felt lost. But it didn't stop there. Gypsy crossed a major line when she publicly exposed Ryan's private medical information, including the medication that made him sweat. It wasn't just a careless moment, it was an invasion of his privacy.
If you go look at Gypsy's TikTok story right now, she just apologized publicly to Ryan before revealing his medical info to the whole world. Now the thing is, she has almost 10 million followers, so a lot of people now know something about Ryan that Ryan did not publicly want released. So she can apologize all she wants, but I don't think it changes anything. It really doesn't change anything. She still did what she did, and she was very wrong for that. That was just a whole new low for her. So sometimes apologies don't mean much. I don't know how I feel about this.
Ryan, understandably, was furious. In a rare move, he bypassed Gypsy entirely and went straight to her father, threatening legal action unless the post was taken down. Instead of backing off, Gypsy escalated the situation. She recorded a fury-filled video that was nothing short of chaotic. She didn't simply ask Ryan to stop talking about her. She threatened to expose even more personal details if he didn't comply.
I sit down, right? Okay, how about you quit talking about me? It's been 3 fucking months since I texted you. And you're spiraling out of control. So just remember, just as much dirt as you have on me, I have on you, honey. You punch at me, I punch back 10 times harder. Go see a therapist.
Her voice wavered, her accent slipped, and one moment she sounded like the Gypsy we all knew, the next, she seemed like someone else entirely. The video wasn't an attempt at self-defense, it was pure retaliation, an attempt to regain control over a situation that was quickly spiraling out of her grasp. But when the public backlash hit, Gypsy deleted the video and came back with a fresh performance, her now infamous apology video. This time, her voice trembled, her eyes narrowed just enough to make her pain believable. She claimed that Ryan wasn't the man she married, and the entire thing was soaked in victimhood, as though she was rewriting the entire narrative of their relationship. But here's the kicker, wasn't she the one who cheated on him? Wasn't she the one who had a baby with another man while still married to Ryan? The hypocrisy was staggering. Gypsy sobbed over leaked texts that made her look bad, all while publicly exposing Ryan's private medical information for millions to see. The double standards were impossible to ignore. This is the perfect example of manufactured outrage. It wasn't about the heartbreak or the betrayal, no, it was something far more dangerous for Gypsy, the loss of control. The loss of her grip on the narrative.
Well, that was crazy. Oh, this was messy. That was messy. Y'all gotta behave. Y'all can't be acting like that on the interwebs. It was a great weekend. That was fun. Shit's still blowing up. Everything's going great. Y'all really gotta start being nice to the Gypinator. Sometimes I'll be talking about her and it slips out and it's not that nice. And that's an accident. I like the Gypinator. You know what I'm saying? She's chill AF, showing the titties at the strip club and everything. Gypsy's cool as hell showing the titties at the strip club. You know what I'm saying? That's the kind of friends you want. They don't judge and they have a good time. Gypsy, I'm trying to get up in the friend group. You know what I'm saying? Because shit, I'm gonna wear a wig and show the titties. Were they throwing beads or anything? It don't matter. I'll do it for free. Was Roz there? Was Roz at strip club throwing dough hairs? You can't, I can't. Be nice to Gypsy, people. I'm just kidding. Everything I say, I'm really just kidding. I like her a lot. She got the balls. Gypsy, I like you. You got the kahunas. You know what I'm saying? You got the balls.
She didn't cry because Ryan hurt her, she cried because the attention stopped. After her video, Ryan didn't give her a response, not a word, no angry post, nothing. He didn't remove the messages, didn't defend himself, didn't acknowledge her at all. And that silence? That's where the real power lies. It's not weakness on Ryan's part, it's strength. He's done with her games. He won't be manipulated or dragged into her theatrics anymore. He sees exactly what she's trying to do, bait him into responding so she can twist it into a chance to play the victim again. But this time, he gave her nothing. If he still cared, if even a sliver of attachment was left, those messages would have been deleted as soon as she started crying. But they're still there, and the silence speaks louder than any words ever could. That's Ryan's boundary. He's done. And then there's Ken. While all this chaos unfolds, he's quietly in the background, watching as Gypsy and Amber play out their drama over Ryan. Gypsy's obsessing over Amber, texting Ryan late into the night. Where does that leave Ken? Sure, he and Gypsy might post happy pictures, but we all know this whole mess has to be shaking him up. Ken might be playing it cool on the outside, but behind closed doors, there's no way this isn't leaving a mark. So what's next? Is Gypsy going to lose it again? Is Ken truly okay with everything? Will Ryan ever say anything, or is he finally free? Drop your thoughts in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the next breakdown. Trust me, this story is far from over.